What's going on, everyone? Today we have a review of the HTX Ultra compared to the original 4K, and there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. So first and foremost, whenever we talk about the original 4K, this is really, from my perspective, I feel like this was really their main mouse that kind of started the push to reduce the weight as much as possible. So with the honeycomb version, whenever this originally released, was right under 40 grams at 39. And with the new version, this is coming in at 32. So they're continuing to push the weight boundary as much as possible. And really, I mean, in terms of the rest of the market, you could probably say that Final Mouse is the other company that's trying to push the weight boundary as much as possible. But like I've said before, with everything that Final Mouse has been dealing with, I still feel like GWolves should be number one on the list for everyone that's looking for a low weight mice. Getting into the comparison between the two, whenever you're looking at both of these together, shape wise, the 8K is just a tiny bit longer, as a slightly higher mid hump, and really, at least in terms of the shape compared between the two, obviously it's going to have the honeycomb shape, and then you're also going to have deeper thumb grooves. And then on the side buttons, they lowered the side buttons and split them apart. So the 8K version is really just a more comfortable version of the original. And then you also have better internals with the 3950 compared to the 3395. The original had zippy switches compared to the custom switches that they're using. So clicks on this has, I mean, it feels more crisp, it feels more light, it feels more tactile compared to the zippy switches that they use in the past. Side buttons have a different shape compared to the original. They're placed lower, they're separated more than the original that you can see here. And again, I mean, the 8K version is just a more comfortable version from the original 4K that they released. The one thing that I want to mention is battery life on the original had a huge problem. It was god awful whenever I first got it. They made an update and it never had a problem after that. I think that issue with battery life on the HTX fixed every battery life issue for any other mouse that they released since. So again, talking about this mouse, you have a pretty similar shape. Again, a slightly higher mid hump. You're going to have comfort grooves, better side buttons placed separate, more further apart. Again, it's just a more comfortable version of the original with better internals. And overall, it's just a better mouse. So really the main thing that I wanted to talk about, I've mentioned this in every single GWolves video that I've said. I even did it whenever I did my review on the HTX Ultra. GWolves, compared to the rest of the market, I feel like needs to be talked about is one of the best mice that you can buy. I think the only thing that kind of holds GWolves back, in the past, I think there's been concerns around build quality. Every single mouse in their new lineup that is gone. So build quality can't be an issue for GWolves in the conversation. Everything that they've done in their new line, build quality issues don't exist. At least for me and everything that I've tested. And at least for the people that I've talked to, none of them have had issues with build quality. So that's not a problem. I think the only thing that you could really say for why you might not want to get a GWolves mouse is really just cost. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive compared to the rest of the market. So I think about like Skyrock's obviously here. It's going to be obviously more on the budget end, but I think about Lamzu, Pulsar, like closer to the $100 range. Most of the mice come in at like at $140. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive compared to the rest of the market. And that's really the only thing that I see as something that would be, maybe a concern about why you shouldn't get a GWolves mouse. But overall, whenever I think about everything that GWolves has released, it's pushed the weight boundary. Any build quality issues, I mean, anything build quality wise is incredibly solid. Click implementation for their new line has been probably the best that I've ever tested for any mice that I've used, hands down. So it might be a little bit more expensive, but you're getting super low weight, you're getting solid build quality, and same click implementation, same internals compared to the rest of the market. And yeah, I mean, if you're purely looking, well, actually, one more thing: the forward position sensor that they've been using for the new line tracking games. This is literally why I have the HTS Ultra up here, because anything outside of Fortnite, if I'm playing Apex, Call of Duty, anything from like a purely tracking standpoint, that's my go-to. So, I mean, from my perspective, whenever we purely talk about weight, GWolves is number one, and you're not going to have any of the issues that Final Mouse has been having. So, I really do think that GWolves needs to be in the conversation a lot more than they are. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I'm going to say. I think GWolves needs to be in the conversation a lot more than they are right now. With that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comment section down below, and I will catch you all next time. Start a riot.